Hello guys and welcome to a special Banter Blitz dedicated to anniversary. So 5 years. It's just impressive, isn't it? Happy birthday to us, to everybody. I think you've heard this many times today during this weekend. I actually don't know because I was pretty busy with playing Bundesliga. Actually, I've just came back from today's game and it was quite exhausting. So it took 6 hours of pretty intense fighting. I was pretty successful actually during this weekend. I managed to win 2 games. And our team finally won the match, which is also a great stuff. Um, anyway, although I'm almost done, I'm going to give you a good fighting. So I'm not sure for how long I'll have a physical ability to be with you, but I'll try my best. I'm happy that you're here, you're still awake, so let's get to playing, I think. And if you're not a premium user, you should know that premium users benefit the most from Test 24, and there is a good thing to do. So you can notice this code birthday 2019, with the help of which you can get free 3 months if you buy a subscription for 1, 2, or 3 years. All right, so here we go. Kramnik student Andrey Ostrovskiy, Make Tab, and other stars. Olaf, Abdu. Okay, nice. So let's have a look. What do we have here? So I've noticed several challenges already. And let me know if everything is all right from a technical point of view. I mean, you can hear me, you can see me, and so forth. Here we go. Oh, I can see a challenge from Kramnik student, and since we have not played for ages, I'm going to accept this challenge first. So normally I start with players I've never ever played before, but well, today is not a normal Banter Blitz, so I think we can actually go away from that strict rules. All right, knight f6, knight to c3, a6, and let's try bishop e2. After e6, let's try g4. Aggressive. g5. Let's go. Now goes to d7. So what's next? Next is h4. Olaf says all okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bishop e7. All right. So how to continue here? f4 looks good. Bishop e3. So I'm going to start with bishop e3 because attack is good, but developing pieces is also important. Moreover, I want to castle alone, so here I usually play a3. I mean, not exactly in this position, but in a similar one. I think it's a useful prophylactic move. And now it's a question, how to continue the attack in general. We can play something like f4, f5. Another option is to play h5, rook g1, g6. And what to prefer? That's a good question. If I castle there, maybe b4 immediately. So maybe it's a good idea to wait a bit with castling. So I'm going to play f4 first. Blobix is here. Don G is here. My goodness. Right in time. Exactly at the beginning of the show. But of course, we're playing the different time today, right? That's why you probably made it. And it's Sunday after all, so you don't have work, most likely. Stupid guesses. Okay, let's just focus on the position. So f5 or what? I guess f5 looks nice. Let's go. Risky, I know. But if knight takes d4, then I take with the queen, attacking the knight and the pawn on g7. That's the point. Everyone is supporting Kramnik student, which is correct. He definitely deserves all this. So now, knight takes c6 or just knight takes b5 all of a sudden. Knight b5, a b5, knight b5, forcing the queen to d8 because knight on b6 will be hanging. Where after we can, for example, just castle and d6 will drop. So it's a positional sacrifice. I'm not sure if it is entirely correct, but it's kind of tempting to try, so let's do it. And castles. I'm gonna take d6. It's interesting, even if black plays bishop a6, then knight d6 takes, bishop takes e2, then rook takes c6 is possible. Black has to take it into account. So potentially we can have like 3 pawns for a piece, and all 3 pawns will be connected passers, which is great. Which is great. It's a kind of romantic style, right? I was tired of, this positional chess. I've had enough positional chess during this weekend. So I want to just, play something active, something that looks at least interesting. All right, so pawn is protected. How to continue with the attack? Rook f1 and f6. Very simple, straightforward, and potentially pretty annoying stuff for black. Another option is to play bishop c4. But for bishop c4, I'm not really sure what to do after knight to a5, and e4 will be hanging. So let's start with this move. Looks not so bad. Blobik says, no more bleeds with my touchpad. New mouth. Congratulations. I've also decided not to use touchpad anymore. After several, Banter Blitz shows where I lost on time because of touchpad. Or just made very stupid moves because of touchpad. Usually you make a stupid move because your brain is just somehow broken. But touchpad is also a possible reason for that. So the move just looks bad, looks stupid. And it was not intended. That's the point. All right, now I'm not sure. Maybe just to take on g6. Opening the position, opening the f file. Now this bishop c4 looks very annoying, very dangerous. I'm not sure what black is going to do. Just rook h7, okay. Queen d5. We're almost there, I have a feeling. We're almost there. So what if we just play this move? It's probably too much. It's probably too much. But I'm better developed and my pieces are better coordinated, so I think it could be possible that it works. So the threat is just to take on g6. Now, let's go where? Let's go here. Creating a sort of bishop f7 or queen f5. So we are attacking on light squares that are weakened because bishop is misplaced. It is on b7 and not participating in defense. And I'm not sure that black has this defense. My knight controls c7, so if king goes to d7, I have just queen f5. Okay. So we're having something here. Probably more than just a compensation. So bishop f7 is my threat. I don't know, maybe queen f5 first, attacking the rook, bring the queen closer, and then we will see. And then we will see what to do. Because bishop f7, rook f7, queen f7, king goes to d7, what's next? I'm not sure. Maybe just queen f5, bring the king back to e8, queen g6 check, king goes to d7, and something like rook f7, just attacking everything, everywhere, actually. For now, I'm just attacking the rook when I take it. Rook cannot leave the 7th rank. After rook g7, what do we have after rook g7? There should be something. Queen h5, king d7, queen f5, king back to e8. We're very, very close. Very close. I mean, maybe we shouldn't. Oh, I understand what we're going to do. I found a checkmate. Okay. So, pretty tactics, by the way. Rook g7, queen h5, king d7, bishop e6, king e6, queen f5, checkmate. Yeah. We are the champions. So yeah, here we go. So just check. And checkmate on e6. Okay. Interesting game. Interesting game. I believe that after knight to b5, I had some compensation. I'm not sure that it was a complete compensation, but this sacrifice on b5 is rather typical. Normally, you can see this or something like this when d6 is already under attack. But here we had, well, also very good situation for this sort of sacrifice, right? So, d6 is hard to protect. So black decided to protect it, but after that, the coordination was completely destroyed. Maybe it was worse, actually, given a chance to take on d6. Maybe something like, you know, just castling here was interesting. Because if I take on d6, you can take several times. And white still has to prove the compensation. Maybe it's possible even... No, I'm not sure what is better than just taking on d6 here. It's hard to find a good move. There should be something connected with the counter-attack against e4, but black is somehow not in time here, because everything is hanging for some reason. All right? So, I don't know, maybe knight b6 was a bad move. Maybe knight b6 was not correct. Was interesting, by the way, just to play b4 at some point. I think it was very logical. Then knight takes b4. And then black is trying something against e4 with the help of knight c5, for instance. Or trying to play d5, counter-attacking in the center. So I guess this is, yeah, something much more promising for black if compared to the game. First of all, I no longer have this sacrifice on b5, right? So I don't think I can play something like this. So takes, let's say takes on a8, takes on a8, but queen takes b4. b5 is hanging, but e4 can be captured at some point. Also something like d5, attacking my queen with the bishop, followed by d takes c4. Looks not so bad for black. I mean, it's not bad at all. It's even good, I would say. So just b4, I suppose. Or maybe knight a5 followed by knight c4. Also a possibility. Let's have a look. So just knight a5 and then knight to c4. So once again, I don't think that knight b5 here is that great compared to the game. Because there is no hanging knight on b6. That's my point. I believe knight b6 was a bit, you know, not in the spirit of this position. Although it's a typical move in many cases, but exactly here, it was not so great. All right, anyway, thank you for this game. Thank you for this experience. So, what to do? Whom to play? Let's say Minini from Spain. Accept. Black pieces. Oh my god. I've played a 6 hours game today with black pieces. Please, give me white pieces. I want to attack. I don't want to, defend. Okay. D4, CD4. Don and Mick should play, says Kramnik student. 100%. Don G, if you challenge, and you should challenge, I believe, I'll accept that challenge immediately because we have not played for centuries. So it's time, actually. Bishop goes to D3. Bishop goes to B7. Blobby asks, did you win? If you mean this 6 hours game, yes, I did. I won that game. Giovanni is here. Great. C3 undermining B4. So white is playing quite good, by the way. I'm not sure that knight A2 is great, but undermining this B4 is something very typical. So I'm going to protect it because I think this pawn limits the knight a bit. Bishop D2. Very logical. Wow. This guy is understanding what he's doing. It's pretty cool. Wow. What's going on? B4 is under serious pressure. Knight to F6 maybe. Counter-attacking in the center at least. Because I don't think I can protect B4. Okay, I could have played rook B8. But I just don't think that rook belongs to B8. Rook should be here on A8 to attack A4 potentially, I guess. Fox is here. My God. Feels like it's not Chess 24's birthday, but mine. Because everybody came. Well, except for Twyho's ex. He's probably sleeping already. I don't know. That's cool. Why don't you come every week? F3. So everything is protected in white's camp for now. But can I take on C3 now? Queen is not protected. So queen takes B7, bishop B7, knight C3. I have nothing, I believe, in that position. So let's try something aggressive here in the center again. D5. E5, knight to D7. E5 is hanging. So as you can see, I'm trying to do everything to be aggressive, to attack. And I think I'm succeeding gradually. So bishop C5 looks very interesting because if bishop takes C5 and knight C5 attacking queen, bishop and pawn on A4. Knight C5 immediately is also cool. If I play bishop C5, I believe I forced that bishop away from E3. But it feels like there is D4 position. So let's just grab the bishop instead. I mean, white is forced to take on C5 now. Let's even remove this. Now we have pair of good bishops. This knight is still passive there on A2. There are some dark squared weaknesses here, including F4. And A7, G1 diagonal. We can also disturb that A4 pawn with queen D7 at some point. We can also consider something like D4 at some point. So, position is quite promising, I believe. So, AB4, AB4. Now the pawn is hanging. Knight is going to C1. Isn't it slow? I have a strange feeling here. At very first glance, white is doing everything right, but it feels like just something very slow. There is a trick though, so if I castle, there is bishop h7 and then queen c2, queen c5, which is not very pleasant thing. So I think it's better for me to avoid castling for now. What to do instead? We can play queen b6. We can also try queen a7, protecting the bishop and attacking a4 at the same time, where after we will be good to castle. So let's try this queen a7 move. Looks a bit strange, but once again, feels like it's tactically intact. Queen c2. Alright, bishop is not hanging now, but there is another threat. It is knight to b3. Wow, my opponent is super good. So let's just go away with the bishop, not to lose it. And now bishop to e3, attacking f4. This bishop on e3 is gorgeous, isn't it? Just controlling everything on both sides. The question is, alright, bishop b5. I can take on f4 now, right? So bishop b3 was the move with the main idea, just to capture the pawn. So let's take it. Since nothing is hanging here, why not to grab the pawn? Very important pawn, by the way, because e5 is my next prey. My next target, which looks pretty capturable. a4 is also under pressure now. Castling, I think we should take here. Alright. Right. And what to do? Bishop d6 or bishop f6? I think bishop d6 looks pretty solid. Just yeah, and now castling. It's 2 extra pawns, just very good. The only problem is what? The only problem is time. I have only 1 minute. Dungy asks, maybe the one would help my chess, couldn't hurt. It would, my friend. It really helps sometimes. Alright, so how to protect this correctly? Let's play h6. And let's focus on the game. So we have 3 pawns now, right? 3 pawns. Rook there, queen there. Since we have 3 extra pawns, I think we can simplify a position gradually. Okay, so let's go there. I don't understand g3 at all, to be honest. Check. Oh, let's jump there or there. I don't know. Queen d5. Centralization. d3. Connecting the bishop to the stuff. Trying to promote a pawn. Protecting the pawn. Check. Bishop takes. Rook d3. Oh, checkmate. Okay. Okay. Interesting game. Interesting game. But I still don't think that knight a2 was a good idea. So normally you would move this knight to e2, in fact, to bring it to g3 and then to the king side. And you will still play this c3, bishop d2, and so forth, but you will not experience problems with, misplaced knight. Because actually you spent a lot of time improving it. That's my idea. Well, after that, most likely there was a possibility to improve your play 100%. So I have a feeling that this queen b3 was already too much. Okay, so probably simple castling would have been better, because black still has to develop a lot of pieces, and after queen b3 I'm doing this easily, so without problems. So knight f6, queen b7, and as you can see, now the absence of the knight in the center or somewhere controlling the center starts filling. So I have no problems with this thematic d5 move, and I grab the initiative because of it. Okay. Just imagine your knight is somewhere in g3. You probably don't even have to play f3, protecting the pawn and weakening your position. That's, couple of considerations here. All right, next guy will be whom? Where is Don G? Don G didn't challenge. Dungy didn't challenge. Right, let's play Blobix. So I'm accepting challenges pretty randomly this time. E4. Okay, let's go for attack. Another attacking game, I believe, is coming. Unless black plays Sveshnikov. It's hard to attack in Sveshnikov. Alright, let's go this way. Knight to f5. Okay, let's put the bishop here. Castle. Can I play queen c2? Well, I can play queen c2, but then g6, so what? There's nothing. Okay, let's just regroup then. Oh, this knight is super aggressive, super dangerous. Just get rid of it. Okay, I'm satisfied with this. Maneuvers, the knight is on g6 limited with pawn g3, which is good. But there is f5, f4 coming, and I have to do something about it. So maybe it's okay to have the knight on g6 after all. What if we just play h4, h5, bring the knight to h8? It's not a big deal for black, I believe, but still, looks nice. It's Tval's birthday today. Can you play him? Yes, I can. What about you, Mick? Do you want to play? I bet black is thinking of sacrificing the piece on h4 to smash me. I don't believe in such a sacrifice. Fuchs says knight h4 looks tempting. It looks tempting, but as I said, I don't see a follow-up after that. So I will take, bishop will take. What black is going to do? Just to play f5, something like this? Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's something, but I can always blockade it with f4, I guess. Okay, bishop takes h4. What if we start with bishop g6 now? Simplifying the things a bit. No, it's not so good. Let's take with the pawn immediately. Queen takes h4. So now we have to diffuse the tension. So queen f3, or maybe knight e4. What is the right move here? I think queen f3 with the idea of queen g3 trying to exchange queens and hence stop the attack. I prefer 5, or for example 3 plus 2. It's the answer to 12's question. So 3 is just too fast. Especially today. After 6 hours of playing and 3 hours of, 3 hours of road from Berlin back to my Bielefeld. Too much. F5. Okay, so here I wanted to play this. Just asking for an exchange. So if queen takes queen, I'm happy. I'm a piece up. There is no attack anymore. And this pawn on g3 will kind of stop all three, f, g, and h, for some time, of course. All right. So I think it's the right decision to avoid queen's exchange. So what if we just chase the queen? Okay, so it's getting better. It's getting better for sure. So queen is far away. That's a good sign that the attack is going to an end, I guess. I hope at least. This bishop e3 was not correct. Queen b4 was very strong against it. Okay. Maybe I would have played the same bishop d2 against that queen move as well. All right. So black has no time to make attacking moves, which is nice. And we are developing our counter-attack. e4, bishop f1. e4 kind of helps, I wanted to say, but now looking at this f4 pawn, I think, well, maybe I'm overestimating my position. It's not so clear at all. I made it not so clear, in fact. Moving my pieces away from the king side. Oh my god, what's going on? Black is just creating one threat after another. He's gonna crush me. Not Swal, but Blobix is gonna crush me. It's very strong. That's very strong. What to do? Let's just go away. Yeah. Most likely knight f3 was just finishing the game. Why isn't the accelerated dragon more popular? More popular than what? Than a classic dragon? Or which opening? I can take the knight now. I can also play bishop c3. I think bishop c3 is a bit better. G6 Sicilian is played. If we talk about classic dragon, it's still played. Not so popular as Knight Earth, but still played. And the main reason why the Knight Earth is more popular, just because Knight Earth is not that risky. So when you play dragon, it's kind of all in. You either win or lose. When you play Knight Earth, well, it's much more flexible. You can play aggressively, you can play positionally. So dragon is all about attack, nothing else. So I'm not sure what's going on here on the board. I have a lot of extra pieces somehow, and everything happened only because of Blobix being in a time trouble, I believe. So somewhere here after Queen H2, I think I was very close to losing the game. After King H1, I believe it's just lost. So after Knight F3, I don't know what to do, actually. I cannot play Queen G2 because of Queen H4, checkmate. Or just winning a queen and then checkmate. So I have to go away somewhere controlling H4 square, which means I have to go to H5, only square. Queen is really short of space here. And now anything will do, I believe. So Rook F5 looks devastating, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's just good enough to play Rook F5 here. Yeah, why can't resign easily? So after Knight F3, it's just a resignable position. Yeah, so H4 was too much. I gave you real counterplay, in fact. And the whole setup was just a bullshit for white. I mean, what I've done in this game was very bad. Thank you. So you were very close to win the game. Very small. Let's have a look at challenges and find the one from Tzval. Here we go. Accept. So happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday, Chess24. Again. Oh, it's probably not Tzval, but Zwal, right? I've noticed your American flag, so Zwal. All right. Just let me know if I'm mistaken. What should be the pronunciation of your nickname? Or is that wall? Or is that wall? What do we have here? It's kind of French, but with pair of bishops for black. And not just French, but the exchanged variation of French defense. Knight e5. Let's just exchange this knight. I don't want to have it here on e5, to be honest. f4, okay. This is logical. Let's put the bishop on d6 first. Don't know why. Probably wanted to prevent f5, to control e5 a bit better. Also, sort of idea maybe just to play f6, although it weakens a lot in my position, but it helps me attack that knight. This knight on e5 is really annoying. Queen h5. What's going on? I was supposed to play attacking chess, and now my opponents play very aggressively. And I don't know what to do with that. f5, very strange move, isn't it? I was just trying, again, to exchange queens. But queens are not being exchanged simply. That's pretty tragic. Alright, bishop e5, f takes e5, f4, queen somewhere, so what? Achieve nothing. Absolutely. This f5 was a terrible move. Yeah, it stopped white's attack for some time, but it made my bishop just amazingly bad. Okay, so what about this? Another terrible move. And that was my idea, just to take on e5 now. And to go away with the bishop to e7, and f5 is protected. So queen e6 was just to protect f5, to be able to capture that knight finally. Alright, so now our position looks more or less solid. We can focus on continuing the development and undermining the center with the c5. It's important to have this e5 always blockaded. What's interesting, normally queen is not a good blockading piece for central pawns. But here, since I control all the squares where the knight can jump, my queen looks pretty safe on this position. Okay, c4, obviously trying to exploit this a2 g8 diagonal, and then c5. That is something I didn't expect. Interesting stuff. So how to proceed? Let's just coordinate the rooks first. Something happened to chat, I think. So let's try to refresh the page. What happened? b4. Okay, let us undermine the pawn. And maybe open the A file for our rook. No, nothing happened to chat. Everybody just became silent. What's wrong, guys? It's already boring? What's the matter? I know it's late. In Europe, at least. Knight is just going to a5. No. It's crazy position. Fox says I banned everyone. Sorry, accident. Yeah, good. Good joke. Everyone is lazy, says Kramnik student. I'm half asleep. Donji says it's not boring, it's too interesting. Many versions. Which one is right? So Giovanni says, I'm just concentrating on the game and listening to you, Andrey. Yeah, thank you. What's interesting, b4 is under pressure and cannot be protected that simply. But my opponent is finding resources on each and every move. So if I take on b4, then queen c3, look at this. Very sneaky guy, huh? Then rook goes back to a4 and there is something like, you know, knight to a5, probably trapping it. Oh, that's annoying, huh? How can you play this strong? I have only 1800s. You've just started or what? I mean, you've just started on this server. Okay, let's take on before I noticed c4 square for my rook. It's just too late, guys. And I'm completely exhausted. I'm not finding pretty obvious things. And blundering pretty obvious things. Okay, let's do this, finally. Exchanging queens and really diffusing the pressure. If rook g5, then queen h3 first, and then taking on g5. Not to give my opponent a chance to check me on h7 or something. But even that is possible to play with black. Alright, so let's take queen first. Extra exchange now, right? Should be winning position for black. But we still have to be careful because here is this annoying passer. So let's just blockade it. Let us just blockade it, and then rook goes to a8. To go where? To go to a2. That's the idea. Rooks are being activated quickly. Why didn't I play rook b2? Come on, it was so simple. Ah. Now rook b2. Is there a checkmate? I don't see it. It's very close to checkmate somewhere, but I don't see it right now. I can see it kind of immediately. So attacking the rook. Bishop on h5 is still hanging, which is pretty cool because it's a very important piece. Bishop g4. What's going on? Let's take on g7. It's almost over. Bishop e6, rook h2, and then checkmate on h1. Linear one, I guess. Yeah. Very good game. Very good game. I mean, the wall. You're playing very nice chess. You were very close, I believe. Somewhere around f5 I had a terrible position, simply terrible position. Maybe something more aggressive here, just like g4 could be pretty annoying for black. Let's have a look at this quickly. So g4, if I take, then queen g6. I think it's just over now. Queen is getting to h7. So I have to play something like knight e7, most likely covering this f5, and then you can continue with this g5, let's say. Looks like, you know, a squeeze, simply. Looks like a squeeze. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the game. Happy birthday again. I hope you enjoyed this experience. So let's play Cobra. Accept. Let's play Cobra. So what to play against Cobra? Let's play e4. There will be Caracan most likely. Kramnik student says, let's see how Mig does. Yeah. Let's see. So after Cobra, I'm gonna play Mig Tal. So Bishop c4. Sozin. e6, bishop to e3. You know, I've never played Velimirovich attack, so maybe it's time to try it. Obviously, it's not something you play without preparation, without solid theoretical knowledge, but I'm tempted to try. Here we go. So, Velimirovich. Should bishop go away? I have no idea what should be played here. Let's just go to b3. a6. If I play g4, there is knight takes d4, rook takes d4, e5, and then g4 is hanging. Kind of typical thing for it. Should I start with rook g1, but it feels too slow. So what is the right move? Maybe just, no, taking on c6 and then g4. I know that sometimes you just sacrifice that pawn. So let's just sacrifice its position, like open in the g file. So if black takes d4, plays c5, we just go away with the bishop, then takes on g4. Okay, we just pretend nothing happened and just keep on playing along the g file. Knight to a5. Okay, g5 should be played immediately. Now it's a good question. To take with the a pawn or to take with the knight. If I take with the a pawn, it literally stops black's attack normally. Because if you play b5, b4, okay, I just put my knight on a4, blockading everything. So let's just take this way. Very strange position. Black has pair of bishops, but position is not that open, so maybe it's not so important. And we should be quick with our attack, and I don't know what would be the best way to do that. Maybe just push all the pawns on the king side and see what happens in that case. b5. Alright, so b4 is not a threat, I believe. So we can keep on pushing pawns. So Mikhail says will not play Sicilian. Yeah, I'm waiting for you there. Kramnik says very sleepy. That is exactly how I feel right now, and I can understand. Don't feel sorry, and sleep well, my friend. Good night. g6. It just opens the position for me. Opens the h file. That was very strange. Then I take on e6. Come on, that is probably what my opponent missed. Yeah, obviously, if you play g6, you want to recapture with the f pawn then. But the problem is e6 is hanging here. So now it should be over. So Mikhail says, don't know that defense. This is probably about Arctic defense, but after you said that, you're scared to stay alone with Fuchsia. Probably Fuchsia will never ever explain it to you, my friend. So there is no Arctic defense for you anymore. No, Fuchsia said knight f3, f6. Why it's Arctic? Any ideas? What is so Arctic about it? Let's just, make this king b1 move. It's always safer when your king is there. What's the plan? The plan should be f4, f5 and just finish this game. Or maybe bring the bishop to d4 and kind of queen somewhere in the same diagonal, but it's not so simple to find a square. Maybe just bring the queen up to h6 and then just bishop d4 and checkmate. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, let's go there. Let's go and checkmate black. Queen b5. Not sure what's going on. It's getting harder and harder to stay awake. Especially after Kramnik's student left, saying these words about that he was sleepy and so forth. He reminded me that I was sleepy too. Oh, that was mean. Of course he didn't intend. Okay, now it's time for f4. Finally, e4 is not hanging. We can play f4 without problems. d5. Huh? Bishop d4, bishop somewhere, and where is my checkmate? Where is checkmate? What's going on? Why there is no checkmate? Because I didn't open up a position yet. So it's time to open up a position. As simple as that. Okay. So g6. g6 was very strange. g6 was very strange. I'm not going to comment the theoretic part because I have no idea what's going on there. But g6 was obvious mistake. Instead of playing that, what was better? Maybe knight c5. Yeah, probably just knight c5, ignoring the stuff. And what's important, protecting e6, because g6 never works when e6 is protected. Well, I mean, it's not that dangerous, at least. And maybe it was a good idea just to grab the pawn when I gave you the chance. So when I played g4, there was a chance to take on d4 and play e5 and grab the pawn. So something like this. So e5, bishop goes away. Now bishop takes g4. If I play f3, just bishop back to e6. Yeah, I have some play along the g file, but it's not more than a compensation. Giovanni asks, how is Mark doing? Can he play chess already? Not yet. So he cannot play chess. He can play with chess. With chess pieces, actually. And he does. The knight is his favorite piece. Obviously. But he always he kind of always recognizes the king as well everywhere. It doesn't matter if it is a real board with real pieces or it's, for example, a 2D like the one you see on the screen right now. Or maybe somebody's playing in a movie, or maybe somebody's playing in a cartoon or something. So he is always very curious, and yeah, he knows the knight and the king for now. I think it's okay for 2 years. I'm not gonna push, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to teach him this game in general. We'll see. All right. So next game. And Fuchs says he can eat the pieces. He doesn't. He doesn't do that. And never tried, by the way. Probably he feels like maybe it's something special to me. Mick. Where is Mick? Where is Mick? There is challenge from Mick. Here it is. Accept. All right. Here we go. You wanted to surprise me, so I decided to surprise you. Grub. Hello. Undermining d5 with the c4. So here is there is a fellow guy, Ostrovskiy from Kiev. He plays g4 exclusively during all his life. And you know what? He's doing well. So he has a vast experience there, and he gets almost always gets good positions. Even against grandmasters, he sometimes wins his games against grandmasters. All these games are blitz games, obviously, but still impressive. Very talented player. And if I'm not mistaken, there was an episode when I played against him within the Banter Blitz. I think. Although I'm not sure. Why didn't I take on b7? Tell me. Why didn't I take there? Alright. So I wanted to force black to play e6. There is a nice trap with queen a4 check, queen takes g4, because bishop can no longer get back to d7. But okay, knight is on f6 already, so I cannot do that. And that's why it was much better for me to take on b7 on the previous move. Ah, goody, goody, goody. Okay, no worries. Let's just keep on developing pieces. b6 weakens this long diagonal. Well, my friend, this may backfire. What about knight b5 now? Just e5. I'm playing pets or chess, so I have to stop. Wow. It's just a day full of chess, you know, to me. Like from the morning till the very end. My God. It's quite hard. There was an interesting episode in my life, although it happened many, many years ago when I was like maybe 11 or 12 years old. Maybe a bit older, maybe a bit younger. I don't remember. And so what was that? I had to prepare for the game in my local club. There was a cup, a city cup. And so 2 games against one guy. The time control was like 1 hour for each player with no increment, nothing. And you play with white pieces, and then immediately after that you play with black pieces. And clearly who wins goes further, and who loses just goes out. And yeah, I really wanted to play well against that guy because he was an international master. At that moment, I was like maybe... I was nothing, actually. I was not even 2100s FIDE. Was lower. But I wanted to play well. And we were preparing for that game with my coach for like 11 hours in a row. I mean, it was just a little break for snacks at some point. It didn't help, but anyway, the feeling was just amazing. It was like, I can do more if necessary. And at that time, it was like a clear pleasure. I didn't even have doubts that it should be somehow different. I thought, okay, it's a very important game. I have to be prepared. Let's do it till we understand that we are done. We're finished with the preparation. What the time it was. Amazing. So why I'm talking about it today, I'm having like around 11 hours of chess again, but it's no longer that simple. It's no longer that simple. It's actually very hard because I'm fucking old. That's the reason. All of a sudden, I'm winning. I just created a thread and won the exchange. My God, I don't understand how that happened. I could have said it was an intuition. I was just playing like, you know, the best moves without any calculation because I'm just great. But it was not. It was just a random, pushing pieces around some important squares, telling you a story. Well, sometimes it's pretty random. Oh, Fuxia says something about the code, which is very interesting to me. Don't go away. So, I have that sometimes when I'm writing code and stay in the zone for a long time. You feel and are super productive. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that feeling. Correct. I'm not pretending to be old. I'm really old. I mean, if compared to that me, which was capable of 11 hours of training, I'm really old. I understand that in general, 30 years is probably not that much. But yeah, if compared to 11 or 12 years old, back then I had much more energy. Andrey, sorry you're still a baby. Okay. Okay, guys. I'm still a baby. Nice. Okay, let's put it the other way. I'm old if we talk about, if we talk about chess. People usually retire at this age of 30. On average, I mean. Look at this knight, how hard it is to protect. Knight f6 is the only move. Yes. Alright, my bishop is somehow out of play. Oh, look at this now. After knight e5, I attack the knight. And the bishop is under pressure, so if black now plays king e7 or king e8, I just grab the bishop. Nice super drooper double attack at the end. So, Dungy says, Andrey's old, That was probably my best joke, right? So far, because everybody reacted and everyone is laughing somewhere on that end. Fuxia beats all my jokes, of course. She says, wow, 33 moves. Well done, Meek. Well, actually, at some point, Meek was much better, for sure, because I somehow failed to grab the pawn at the right moment. So here after knight f6, you have to take on b7, I think, immediately. And after knight to d7, just to take on d5 and to play with the extra pawn or something. But I'm not entirely sure, of course. So after rook b8, queen goes to c6. There's rook c8 grabbing my bishop on c1. So maybe it's a trap. Maybe I cannot do that. So maybe bishop d5 is not good, but at least we have equal material here, so we can play something normal like knight to c3, intending knight to b5. d5 is still under attack, so looks not so bad. But I've played badly. I've played knight to c3, then refused to take on b7 at all, and no questions, black just got very solid position with the extra material, and everything was fine until this moves. So what happened here? I gradually managed to exploit the weakness of c7. It's most likely something simple like a6 at some point could have, given black just extra pawn with no compensation. So I would have played a6 at some point. Knight to c5 in general is doing nothing actually, so it was not that needed, I believe. Something like a6 b5 was very good, just extra pawn. Okay, anyway, thank you. So somebody else. So Sidali chess. Let's play this guy. Did we play? No. Let's go. By the way, this stuff, bishop c7 followed by knight d6, is very typical for Catalan. Sometimes it happens there. That's why it was so simple for me to find it, because I know the pattern. But I don't play Catalan as white, I play it as black. Nevertheless, Sidali, are you here? Still. Are you not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, sorry, next one. Let's have a look. Let's play Olaf. This will be great. This will be a great game. Miktal says, you make everybody play better when you play Banter Blitz and feel better. Well, if you feel better, I'm happy. That's my goal, to make you happy, to make you feel better. And to make you learn something, obviously. That's an interesting position. We can play different things. I'm going to try c5 this time, since I'm playing kinda active chess. Let's try this stuff. And now something strange, g6. If you think that I've learned something here, you're wrong. This move just came to my mind a few seconds ago. Why exactly there? Because I'm going to play d5 at some point. Then most likely we'll have a position with the isolated pawn. And I decided just to put the bishop on g7 in advance to exert some pressure on that pawn. Dreams, dreams, dreams. My opponent will most likely not give him a chance to play d5, because now if I play d5, it's not so clear. Just cd5, bishop e2, so what? And to play g5, to be able to play d5 and recapture with the knight would be just too much for this position. So let's play d6. Andrey, do you play the Grunfeld sometimes? No, I don't. Never even tried. And by the way, about that comment, when you're coding and you're actually in the zone, so when I've just read that comment about the zone, I was trying to remember where I last heard this expression to be in the zone. And I've just remembered just a few seconds ago. It was the Big Bang Theory. Don't remember which season, but there was an episode when Sheldon and Amy were saying that during the episode. So Sheldon was in the zone, and then at the very end, Amy was in the zone. So knight goes to b5. That's an interesting position and an interesting choice. I mean, I can take on b5. I can ignore this knight for some time. And I don't know what would be better for me. What is the right move? Kind of not sure at all. Okay, let's try it. Although I understand it's not correct because now this c6 is too weak. But I'm just willing to complete my development as fast as possible, then to do something about this d4, which is now separated from the rest of the pawns. Okay, the wall says it's just a random name, no reference to the wall. I'm not necessarily meaning that wall, if you know what I mean. I was just, yeah. Okay, you answered my question actually. So it's a random name, so it can be pronounced any way you want, right? Rook to e1. So basically, that is what I wanted to try, just to play g5, then knight to e4, grabbing that bishop quickly before it went away somewhere. And just grabs it. Okay, so now white doesn't have pair of bishops, but there is still this d4, which is not so simple to attack, in fact. And I don't want to really play d5 because this weakens e5 and makes that knight much better. So once again, I'm a bit stuck here. I don't know what is the right way to play it, but let's try to put the knight on e5, d5 at least, to blockade that pawn for some time. Maybe we'll have a chance to cover c6 as well with the help of knight d5, knight d7 maneuver. We're covering h7 as well, so different ideas behind it. All right, now let's coordinate the pieces. Probably some sort of centralization may help. But now probably d5 is all right. I mean, the knight is far away. Maybe not that far as I wish it could be, but all right. I can notice c4 square. Should I exchange all the rooks? I think yeah. Just to minimize the weakness of c6, to avoid any sort of potential occupation of that square. Rook to c3. All right. All right. Now it's time to improve my knight. So knight e8, knight d6, and maybe then finally to f5 to attack d4. That would be just nice. d4 is hanging, by the way. d4 is hanging, and my rook is knight because it is protected by the knight from e8. Fuchs is joking again. I would also play Andrey 30 years ago. Now, Andrey 30 years ago would be not a very interesting opponent. Olaf is not lucky. Olaf is playing great, so it's interesting to play against him, I believe. At least in my case, every game against Olaf is kind of adventure. You never know what would happen at the end. Oh, that was a big blunder. My opponent forgot about that knight hanging. So, somehow I managed to outplay my opponent. And if you look at all this quickly, you'll notice the idea behind Black's actions here. All this may look like a random stuff, but look. I've started with the g6 to put the bishop on g7 to exert pressure on d4. So starting from here, I was expecting this pawn to become my main target, because my initial plan was to play d5 at the right moment and to create an isolated pawn. Situation changed after white's bishop g5, because I realized I cannot really play d5, so I played d6 for now, just to complete the development. After knight to b5, I captured on b5, which was a weakening of c6, but at the same time weakening of the d4, because now this pawn is separated from the rest of the pawns. Then I did everything to blockade that pawn, and at the same time I just decided to get rid of opponent's pair of bishops with this maneuver. And then, when everything was ready, I started an attack against this pawn. So knight e8 was the start of the maneuver to d6 to f5. Obviously, white's play could be improved. For example, there was no need to give up d4 so early, but I guess it's already clear that d4 is a real weakness, at least a vulnerability for sure, and it's really annoying stuff to protect it, because you have to protect it with, say, queen at the moment. So queen definitely has a lot of different interesting tasks to perform, but he has to stay here on d3 and protect the pawn. Yeah, and just in 2 moves there will be a very annoying pressure in that d4. Okay, so yeah, interesting game anyway. Let's try somebody else. Mr. Watson. Accept. All right, that's interesting. Let's play c5. Oh no. White is not going to play d5. Why? I wanted to play Benoni. Modern Benoni. Just curious why e4, c5, knight f3, g6 never played at top level. Well, it was very popular like 20 years ago or something. It's very popular. Just check games of that times. I'm not sure what is the reason, because I don't know the exact way to refute the accelerated dragon, but I think the book of Mr. Nagy on playing against Sicilian with e4 may give you an answer. So there is a chance that at very best it may transpose to, classic dragon, and there is no sense then to play accelerated dragon, because it anyway goes to classic dragon. And if you try to stay within accelerated dragon, you get worse, most likely. I think that's the reason. But it was a topical opening, like 20 years ago, I believe. Maybe a bit earlier, something like 1996, 1997. Don't remember exactly. But I was played a lot. Okay, back to the game. Bishop c5. Just developing a piece. We're getting something similar to what? Wanted to say Sicilian Taimanov or something. That's probably not Taimanov. Okay, let's go d5. I guess instead of playing bishop g2, b4 was very strong. Just b4 and then c5, and black has a terrible position. Just terrible position, full of dark squared weaknesses. And if black tries to play d6, it only creates new pawn weaknesses. So it was just a terrible opening. And white failed to punish me for this. Chess24 Chess Club. Yes, happy birthday. Chess24, 5 years. My god, 5 years. Wow. At the age of 5, I started playing chess. Here's an interesting idea that there is Marosi pawn structure against accelerated dragon, but it's not considered very dangerous, in fact. So Marosi is actually, yeah, it's something annoying, of course, but if black plays correct moves there are several ways to equalize. At least I know several ways. So it's not very promising for white to play Marosi. I do believe that white just plays something attacking, like still bishop e3, queen d2, quickly castling, and in many cases it just goes to normal dragon, classic dragon. Okay. So Marosi, or Marosi if you will. Yeah, it's a good thing, but it's not necessarily that dangerous. What am I doing here? What's going on? So let's attack f2. Again, I'm losing my focus. I think it's just time to finish the show. But first of all, we have to finish this game, right? Are you talking about the Marozi bind? Yes, exactly, Donji. I was talking about Marozi bind. So e4 and c4, basically. e3, alright. What to do with this bishop? Can I just win it? Like, what if I play g5? Marozzi's structure is the problem of the accelerated dragon. I don't know. It's probably a problem for a club player. But I cannot remember the last game when Marozzi bind was played against accelerated dragon on the level of, like, I don't know, 2500s, for example. I just don't remember. Again, it's probably a problem for a super active player, like the one who cannot actually go from one style to another one. And if he decided to play, for example, dynamic chess, he cannot play anything else. That's a problem, yeah, because against Marozzi bind, you have to play slowly and positionally in many cases. But if you check the stats on database, you will find out that it's not so dangerous once again. I may be wrong, don't know. That's my impression. For example, I don't play Marozzi bind against accelerated dragon in tournament games. Only in Blitz sometimes. Alright, I somehow won the game. It was absolutely lost right from the start. Somewhere here, after bishop c5, knight c6, bc6, just play b4, my friend. After b4, I think it's, wow, it's so terrible. Let's say bishop e7, just c5. I hate this position. I mean, the only way to activate my pieces and do something, I don't know, is to play d5 or d6, but then after cd6, I'm having this weakness on c6. And yeah, maybe I can hold this position, but it's just a one-sided position already. So it's the thing. Okay, Jan plays Marozzi a lot. Great. So listen to Jan and follow his advice. No problems. It cannot be bad, for sure. All right, I think that it's time to try to play the last game because I'm really nearly sleeping. And want to play against Great Blunder. Nice nickname. And we have played already once. Okay, knight f6, e6. Oh, let's play g6 again. It worked fine. I mean, this Fianchetto in one of the games. Let's try to repeat. Obviously, it's absolutely different position, but still. And another one is going there. Bishop b7, bishop b2, d6. Kind of flexible stuff. Queen c2. I have no idea where to put this knight. What's the better position for it? c6 or d7? What's better? c6 creates a one move threat and it works. It worked well in this particular case. So grabbing the bishop, having pair of bishops. If we take on d4, we have a Marozzi bind, by the way. So let's take on d4 and try to prove there is nothing there. Of course, it's absolutely different case. No questions. So first of all, let's put my queen on c7. Yeah, normally in Marozzi-bind, of course, pawn remains on e7. Here it's on e6, which is not normal. And I think it helps black because there is nothing connected with knight d5. Of course, there is no knight to go to d5, but just in case, knight is being maneuvered through b1 to c3. So I have d5 covered. For a nice hedgehog, we need a pawn on a6, but at the same time, I want to bring my queen to a8, and it will be hard if the pawn is already on a6, because b6 will be hanging. So maybe just to play bishop c6 and queen b7, same idea, basically, but then b4. No. Just queen b8, queen a8. We don't need a6, in fact. Oh, didn't notice this maneuver. Didn't notice this idea at all. Okay. We have to do this then. And a bit later, some like e5, knight e6, knight e4. Who knows? Maybe. Stupid move. Makes no sense at all. But, well, maybe I'm just stopping the knight on d2 from moving somewhere. You never know. Now I have to be really careful, because what is going to play what? To play knight g5 or queen h4 and then knight g5. So we need some sort of regrouping here. Let's bring the rook to c5. Fuchsia says, oh, the good bishop. If you mean the bishop on g7, well, there were no objects of attack for this guy anyway on that diagonal, so I don't regret. But my position on the king side now feels a bit uncomfortable. That's true. That's true. But potentially, again, if everything goes right, according to my plan, we should have some great access to dark squares now, because white also doesn't have a dark squared bishop on the board anymore. We will see. All right, f7 is hanging. I'm forced to play this move. And I'm ready to play queen d8 to simplify the things. Another idea, another threat right now is to play knight to h5, in fact, attacking the queen and then grabbing the knight on g5, which is hanging. That was the idea behind rook c5, and of course rook d7 was prepared. And when I was talking about the regrouping, I had exactly this queen d8 possibility in mind, to bring my queen closer, to exchange the queen of my opponent, or maybe just to put my queen on f8, just controlling everything, protecting everything. All right, g4 is against knight to h5. Can I play knight to e8 instead? Then queen goes to f4 and I don't win anything. So maybe it's not so cool in general. All right. Let's just simplify the things with this exchange. Let's remove rook d8, it's forced. Now we have no problems with the attack, and we can focus on occupying dark squares. Look at this. That is what I was talking about. So the exchange of bishops was, you know, not only good for white, but also for black. And that b3 is probably a blunder, so I can just take on e4. Knight e5, d5, my rook on d8 is protected. That's the thing. If white doesn't blunder in that position, okay, I'm just continuing with sort of knight e4, knight f4 stuff. Not so pleasant in general. Now it's just a technically winning position. So extra pawn, this amazing bishop on a8, h1 diagonal. Several objects of attack, including h3, d3, e2, everything is hanging here, actually. Then rook c8, d5 is another idea. There are many ideas. Maybe just d5 right now. Why not d5? Let's play d5. Let's just play d5. We have a bishop after all, so we should try an open position. Oh, knight d3 was a move, of course. Just attacking the rook and taking the pawn. Maybe it's not too late for it. Let's see. It's probably a bit late already. So let's go away. Let's go away. Let's save the bishop on the board. Takes. Now I guess it's time for this move. Rook c7, knight takes f2. Two connected passers. White also has two connected passers, but I somehow think that mine should be faster. Maybe it's not so clear. I don't know. Let's have a look. e3. E3 should be interesting. With the idea of e2. All right. Now d3. Right? We're very close. Very close. Almost there. Here we are. So, was the last game. Was the last game, and now I can say that I'm really, really tired. So here came the understanding, a clear understanding that I'm done. So it's really hard to focus. It's really hard to understand what's going on here on the board. Although I'm maybe, playing not the worst moves, but yeah, it's getting harder and harder with each and every second. And yeah, I'm really happy you found the time to join. I'm really happy you are supporting me, you are supporting Chess24. It's really a great project, great resource for players of all styles and levels. And I think it will be much better in the future. So, happy birthday, Chess24. Don't forget to use this stuff to get 3 free months if you're still not a premium user. To everybody else, see you next week on Tuesday with the Training Tuesday. Don't forget, it will be question and answer format, so you still have some time to ask your question. You will be also able to ask these questions just during the show, but if you want a good answer, actually, it's better to ask it in advance so that I would have some time to think about it. All right. Wish you all the best. Wish you a great week, and see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.